What's going on, guys? It's your boy the Markham Knight here. Today's video is going to be all about the Superman Legacy movie, as we have heard that Superman and Lois have both been cast. So let's talk about the casting first. Obviously we got to start with Superman. We got my #1 pick from my last video that I made about potential Superman actors. I had this guy, David Corenswet, is the new Superman, and he was my #1 pick. And if you remember what I said in the last video, this guy is 6'4". You can easily put on muscle. People are always scared about putting on muscle, but you can definitely put on muscle. But mind you, this is also a very young Superman, so he can put on muscle as the years go on and be a little more lean and ripped to start kind of, and then kind of build muscle as he goes. But he's 6'4", so already he has a pretty big frame to start with. But this guy is a very decent actor. I haven't seen too much of what he's done. I've seen him in The Politician, and apparently he's really good in Hollywood, which is a Netflix either series or movie or something like that. I haven't really seen him in any of that, but he definitely looks the part. He has the baby blues just like Superman's supposed to have. He's also really tall. Superman's supposed to be 6'3". This guy's 6'4", so he's even bigger than he's supposed to be. So he's going to be an imposing Superman height-wise and everything. And then he does kind of have the Henry Cavill look, because people are kind of talking a lot about Henry Cavill, and we'll talk about that a little bit more after. But he has that look about him, but he's leaner. But people forget Henry Cavill was also very lean to start out, and he didn't gain weight until way later. When he was on the Tudors and stuff like that, he was really skinny. And even on Immortals, he was very lean. And he wasn't big and bulky and stuff until way later in it. And you can always put on muscle. But he definitely has the look down. He was my #1 pick, so I'm very happy he got picked. Now, Lois Lane has been cast, and it's going to be Rachel Brosnahan. Now, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I don't know too much about Rachel Brosnahan, but I do know that she definitely looks the part. She does look like a Lois Lane. And on top of that, she's in this show called The Marvelous Miss Maisel or something like that. I personally don't watch the show, but I do know she's won a lot of acting awards for it. She's won an Emmy, which is as prestigious as you can get, and then she's won some SAG awards and had plenty of nominations and stuff like that, and she's won Golden Globes and all sorts of stuff, so her acting is apparently on point. Both of these guys are relatively young. David Corenswet, Superman, is 29 years old in real life, obviously, and Rachel Brosnahan is 32. That means if you do a 10 to 15 year universe with these guys, you'll have David Corenswet be at 45 at most, and her be about 47, 48 at most. So that's pretty solid. That's exactly what you want to have, and you want to be able to tell older Superman and Lois stories as the years go by. So I'm very happy with that. I do hope we get a Lex Luthor starring and casting information sometime in the near future. My personal hope for Lex Luthor is Nicholas Hoult, and he is apparently one of the finalists, so that would be really awesome to see him get cast. But let's just kind of have a moment for Henry Cavill's Superman. Let's talk about him just a little bit. Obviously, it's an end of an era. I really loved Man of Steel as kind of a day one Superman story, but we needed an immediate Man of Tomorrow or Superman 2 or something like that, a movie just dedicated to Henry Cavill's Superman for us to really love him. We didn't really get to love him. Zack Snyder threw in Batman, and for those of you arguing to say the studios pushed him, they did not. He did say bringing in Batman was completely his idea, and he talked about how once you say it, it can't be unsaid, so they kind of brought Batman into that story. And Batman v Superman had way too much going on, and Henry Cavill's Superman kind of got lost in all of that, and then he obviously made the ultimate sacrifice and killed himself for Doomsday, which also didn't really make sense because Wonder Woman could have used the Kryptonite Spear instead of Superman. Superman could have been the one restraining him or something. There could have been a lot of ways around that, but Batman v Superman was kind of a mess. And then we did get Justice League and Zack Snyder's Justice League even. I really liked both versions. I didn't mind the one that Joss Whedon did. I felt like it was more of a Marvel movie, but I did like it. And then the Zack Snyder's Justice League, I liked a lot, but it was a 4-hour movie with just 20 minutes of screen time for Henry Cavill's Superman. So for those of you complaining that Cavill's Superman didn't get a fair shot, no he didn't, but this universe is kind of dead. I mean, we did have Henry Cavill Superman in Black Adam, didn't make any money. We had a million different references to the Snyderverse in The Flash, didn't make any money. Wonder Woman 84 didn't make money. The Suicide Squad didn't make money, Shazam 2 didn't make money. All these movies are not making money because people don't care about the Snyderverse. The Snyderverse is kind of finished with, and we're going to move on from that. But Henry Cavill's Superman is going to hold a special place in my heart because I did love Henry Cavill's Superman. With that being said, I felt like he was kind of screwed over more by Zack Snyder's vision than he was by anything else. Because even if they continued the Justice League story and Zack Snyder's Part 2 and Part 3, which he kind of dropped the script for that he worked on with Jim Lee, it was supposed to be Superman losing Lois Lane and Bruce Wayne having a legitimate child and stuff like that, Superman going evil, and that's where you saw the Nightmare Superman and stuff like that. And obviously I'm not a big fan of evil Superman. We've seen too many evil Supermans. We already have Homelander kind of doing the boys thing, which is an evil Superman. We have Omni-Man doing his evil Superman thing, and then we also have Henry Cavill doing his evil Superman thing in the Justice League movie. We don't need more evil Superman. We need a real Superman, and I think Legacy is probably a perfect way to describe this movie, Superman Legacy, and having David Corenswet, who completely looks the part. He looks like he could be a humble, nice kid, and I think there was something like the tagline was supposed to be, he's all about truth, justice, and the American way in an era that thinks it's dorky to be that. And I think that's a really good starting point, and to go from there. So obviously we don't know anything too much about the movie yet. We just know it's going to be a young Superman, young Lois Lane, and kind of go from there. But so far, this casting to me is perfect, spot on casting. Tell me what you think.
This is the Mark of Night, and I need you to like, comment, and subscribe.